Nikki.
I can hear myself this time. Hey, Salina. Take 2.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to Sweet Tea and TV, where we're fiddling with sound.
And it's working now.
There you go. So we're off to a swimmingly good start. In addition to a swimmingly good start, I just want to note that after this week, we will officially be halfway through our 8th season.
Wow. It struck me recently that we're almost done with Golden Girls, and I feel like I don't know, I'm just not ready to go yet.
And yeah, it's been like I mean, honestly, I have thought many times, like watching the show, how delighted I am. And so I had a friend reach out and she was saying how much she's enjoying our Golden Girls content on social media. I assume that's what she means. I don't think she listens to the show. Oh. Well, it's fine. And I don't really expect. And anyways, I said, yeah, I feel like a dummy because it's a very classic show. And I'm like, this Golden Girls, it's got something.
They're really on to something.
Yeah, it's like me being like, cheese, right? Have y'all tried it? You know? So.
Yeah, I'm glad. Better late than ever. Glad you're getting into it.
Well, I should also say that we have had listener Adam and listener Michael have both reached out, and they're very sad that they're enjoying everything that we're doing, and also very sad that we're spending such little time with Golden Girls.
I think I might be with them on that.
Same.
It was really hard. And so on that note, listener Zach sent me an email because he heard I was looking for emails. I needed some fan mail. And he was acknowledging how hard it must be to choose episodes for each character. And it's been occurring to me, one, I created the list of episodes like months ago at this point, and some of them I think I meant to come back and revise, and I didn't. So as we're watching them, I'm like, oh, this isn't the episode I was thinking it was. So I'm going back and revising, but it's sending me into other episodes that I had forgotten about, or I'll finish one episode and then just keep it running in the background while I'm, typing up notes or whatever. And there are even more episodes that I'm like, darn it, we're never even going to get to that one. And that one's a really good one. So I hear it and I hate it, but also I don't know how else to do it so that we get more of it.
I was going to say,
but it also feels manageable.
Yeah, I was going to say so we could live.
So we could survive.
Yeah, this is like, whatever. I'll make it really brief and then we'll jump into what we have on the agenda today. But I actually had a friend who recently moved back home, and she was like, send me a couple episodes. I want to hear what y'all are doing. And I sent it to her, and then we went on a walk one day, and she said, oh my God, I can tell how much work you're doing.
Oh, that's nice.
I felt so seen.
Yep.
I'm like, I've got like a tear welling up because like a lot of times I'll have people to be like, oh, I'm gonna start a podcast, and I'm like, okay,
have fun.
Good luck to you. And then I'm like, ha.
It's hard to find the right balance for a hobby podcast. It's just real hard. We'll get there,
especially when you're extra.
Yeah.
Just me. So, okay, scratch it. We're going to go on here. That's my DJ scratch. That's really bad. Anyways, today.
It'll get better.
It won't. We are spending time with the lovable, the huggable, the slightly oblivious, but not to be underestimated, Rose Nyland. And I can pronounce her last name.
Good.
Which is lovely. Until someone's like, no, knucklehead, it's Neeland. Anyways, for the purists out there, here are the specific episodes that we watched in preparation for today. So if you're feeling squirrely and you want to go watch those first, we support you. If you don't, we support you. The world is your oyster. So beginning with season 1, episode 15, In a Bed of Roses, Rose grows concerned a night in her bed might be deadly. This is a personal Nikki favorite. Betty also won the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series for this episode.
It's a goodie.
I'm pretty sure I wrote that. I think that's a really good summary of that episode.
That is, yeah.
Only because it's just funny to think of her and that sentence together. All right, season 2, episode 15, Before and After, the one where Rose thinks she died and came back. So now it's time to do some LIVIN living. Season 3.
And good for her.
Yes, absolutely. Season 3, episode 3, Bringing Up Baby, the one where the gals take in Rose's uncle's pig. For this one and the next several episodes,
hilarity ensues.
Yes. Hilarity will ensue for the next several episodes that I mentioned, but also for this one and all of those, Betty was nominated for the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. So season 4, episode 20, High Anxiety, the one where Rose realizes she's addicted to painkillers and Salina fell off her kitchen stool. Season 5, episode 4, Rose Fights Back, the one where Rose experiences age discrimination when trying to get another job. And finally, season 6, episode 2, Once in St. Olaf, where Rose meets her biological father, who, also happens to be a monk. So,
as happens. As occurs. So it occurred to me putting together the Estelle Getty or Sophia episode that sometimes we picked episodes that could fit our heavy episode later because they just tackle so many flipping major topics. And I wanted to pick a couple heavy episodes so that we could see the characters' range and we could get like, what does Betty White look like addicted to painkillers? Because that's really hard to imagine, So that's where some of those episodes are coming from, understanding that we're going to do another episode later where they probably could have fit too.
Yeah. I think, and again, just to go back to what you said before, that charge of having to figure out which episodes to choose. I think you've done a really nice job. And luckily, I'm so behind in life right now that as you are revising them, Nikki's like, oh, I'm so sorry you watched this episode. I was like, I haven't started it all.
I'm saving it.
New Salina.
Saving it.
I'm edging up on procrastinator now. It's just really something.
I feel it. Okay. Do we want to talk about who Rose is?
Absolutely.
If there's more to say beyond what you just said, because I think you covered the big points. She's a little naive. She's from St. Olaf. She's played by Betty White. Like those are the major points. I will say we're going to celebrate Betty a little bit more in this week's Extra Sugar. So to focus in on Rose specifically, if she were a Friends episode, Rose would be the one with the rosiest colored glasses because that's how she shows up. She is sunshine. She keeps the group from tipping over into full-on cynicism most of the time. She's almost always positive, except when she's competitive, which I realized I think is an episode we might not get to see, the one I was thinking we would. So I might have to just send you off on that mission on your own, Salina, just so you can see Rose as competitive. She's almost always positive, except when she's competitive, looking for a job, or confronting a substance use disorder. Those are the times we see her at her worst.
Well, I think it's especially that last one, she probably gets a pass,
Yeah, I'd give her one. Yeah. Thinking about the good, the not so shiny, and then the where she falls apart. For me, I think for good, she's kind almost to her core. She really believes the best in people and about people, a lot of times to her own detriment. She's empathetic, nurturing. She's the first one to show up emotionally when someone's hurting. She invites the group to be vulnerable, soft, and honest. But I think it's important to say that all of that softness isn't the same thing as weak or ignorant in any sort of way. Not entirely. She's quick and she gets more than people give her credit. So like you said earlier, she's not to be underestimated. Do you have anything else that you would highlight about Rose and Rose's good?
Yeah, so I think she's our innocent. That's what she embodies. She's sort of like the child a little bit of the series and out of all of the women. Not that she doesn't know how to land a punch on the other ladies. It's just when she does, I think it's more surprising because it comes with that sweet little voice and that chipper smile. When she makes like something that's a more sexual comment as well, that really feels out of left field, but I think it's almost like that much more delightful because you just don't expect it. If this were, you mentioned if it was a Friends episode, if she's on Friends, she is our Phoebe. If she's in Sex and the City, she's our Charlotte. And she is the biggest Charlene designing women comp of all time, especially the stories from back home. Or as you've already said, that person that brings that positivity to the table every time, that just believes, but also to their own detriment. So I think of her as being like a very heart-centered character. She wants inclusivity and a seat at the table. I think that's what made the near-death episode hard, to see her look lonely and a little defeated somewhere there in the middle.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's like her experiencing that when she is so inclusive is probably very baffling for her to be sitting there on a sofa all alone.
It's real sad.
It was quite sad. But those, I think, again, your characterization of her was so perfect. I think that really captured all of those beautiful things that she just brings in over and over and over again.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
So in terms of not so shiny, I think there were occasions where her innocence definitely tips into cluelessness, which can be like, she'll tell a St. Olaf story that's maybe a little in the too far category. For instance, the Humpaflagel cake that we were introduced to in High Anxiety. It's a cake sensitive to movement and noise. And you're just sort of like, what are we even talking about here?
Okay, that said, sometimes I feel like a cake who is sensitive.
Since we were just talking about that off mic. It's true. So maybe you are our Humpaflagel. Our Humpaflagel cake.
Nothing would give me more pleasure.
So I could see sometimes, and you can see it with the cast, that sometimes her naivete tips into like the point of frustration for the other women. Sometimes you're watching it and it gets even a little silly for me. And I embrace and love the silliness. And then sometimes it kind of tips her or leans her into that kind of dumb blonde stereotype than really feels is necessary.
Yes, I didn't want you to throw anything at me, but there are times when she goes off into the St. Olaf stories and I've left my body and then come back.
I
and
threw
then
something
I'm
at
like,
her.
Oh, right, we're here. Okay.
I threw paper at her. That didn't go far enough. Hold on. Here's a paper clip.
Thank you.
Did that hurt?
I want to say yes in case you try again.
I was going to say please do because I'm going to throw the mic next.
Yeah, I'm like, please.
Oh, wait, there's a rock.
Please don't throw my rock.
Yeah, some of the St. Olaf stories are silly.
Yeah, but it's worth the price of admission, really, for the reaction of the people around her.
100%.
That's what makes it worth it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Dorothy has some of the best reactions.
My maybe not so shiny is it's purely mental health perspective. It's Rose taking on too much. I don't, it seems kind of silly to say like she's such a good person that it's bad, but season 2, episode 15, this is again the near death experience one. She gives that rundown of her day's agenda before she winds up in the ER. She's making a wedding cake, offers to make a second one because Blanche would like to have some. She needs to address 3,000 envelopes, pick up decorations for the hootenanny, wash cars, and give blood. Like, it's okay. And I'm like also like sitting there petting myself. I'm like, you don't have to, Salina. Rose.
You can let someone down. 100%. For me, that's where she almost as a character falls apart entirely, where she is so afraid of letting other people down. Yeah. And she's so afraid of not being seen as good and kind that you almost forget. And that means then that she forgets that she's a real person who's experienced real loss. She lost Charlie, her husband. She has all these health scares. She battles loneliness when, she loses her roommates. So I think that's where we really see her start to unravel a little bit. And I think that's why like the emotional breakdown episodes where like, and actually this was Ladies of the Evening when they all get caught in that hotel lobby and she just like totally unravels.
Yes, I cheated and pulled it for quotes later
Excellent.
on.
Okay.
I was like, because it was so good.
Yeah.
It was
Those
so
are
good.
her absolute unraveling moments.
Absolutely. And when you're about to go to jail, I think that's probably
warranted.
Okay to, have a little
Yeah. You can fall apart a little bit. Did you have any other times when she totally falls apart? Anything else you wanted to flag?
It's so hard, I think, for really any of these characters, and we've talked about that to this point, like to just like really fall apart, especially when we think about the 2025 versus 80s and early 90s lens. But if this category were, say, to equate to the severity of a situation, then I would say her unyielding belief in everyone and everything can backfire. Mm-hmm. So we're already talking about that to some extent, but like the painkillers episode, for instance, like this is certainly shared responsibility with our very flawed healthcare system. That said, maybe a little skepticism and questioning there could have gone a long way.
I think one of the other women said like, no, I saw it in a comment. They were like, no doctor would have prescribed painkillers for 30 years. And I was like, yeah, absolutely they would have.
Yes.
And they wouldn't have even questioned. They wouldn't have known she'd been on them 30 years because they don't ask those questions.
Or who she was.
Or exactly. Or why she needed them.
Right. Or where they were sitting.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I wanted to flag just a couple of places where she really shines this season, just to kind of put a finer point on how wonderful this character is. So we had In a Bed of Roses, which I think is really early proof. It's in season 1. It is episode 15, but it's still really early in the series. Early proof she's not one-dimensional. She's not just a ditz. She really is like flogged by grief over the fact that this man dies during a romantic night with her. It's when we hear about how Charlie died, and there's a lot there to unpack, and she really did a beautiful job.
Absolutely. Also, but like that seems tough.
Which part?
The someone dying in your bed.
Yes.
Like I think
on multiple occasions.
Right. Once it gets to twice, I mean, you might want to do a little soul searching or just be proud. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to praise you, Rose.
She's wonderful.
Don't question the moves of a gal from St. Olaf. You know what I'm saying?
We also had Bringing Up Baby, season 3, episode 3, where we really see how compassionate and just how clear-hearted she is when the other women just want the money. And she's like, but what about the pig? What about the pig?
Have the pig and the money, you know?
Right. And then in obviously High Anxiety, it was just a brave storyline. And I think her performance, and I think I'm going to call this out later, was really beautiful. It was just the way that she played both the medicated version and the unmedicated version. I don't envision Betty White that way. And the fact that she made me see her as a complex person was impressive.
In 22 minutes. You
Yes.
know, there's not a lot of time to resolve these things. So
Yeah. And these were just worth noting. I just looked at the episodes we've talked about or that we watched so far this season. We have some other heavy episodes that I think we're going to see a little bit more with health scares and relationships and Rose's independence. And so I think that'll come out a little bit more later. So to kind of sum Rose's character up, I heard a quote recently: you never know how strong you can be until you have to be. And I think Rose is that person. Like, you don't think she's strong until she's in a position where she needs to be. And you're like, wow, I didn't know you had it in you.
Fair.
So you mentioned earlier that, talking about awards and recognition for Betty White and this character, that she won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series in 1986 for her portrayal of Rose. She was the first Golden Girls cast member to win in that category. And then the last thing I wanted to say, unless you have anything more to add, I've been trying to provide quotes from the actors about their character as I can, just to sort of put a little color behind their performance. And so I just wanted to add that Betty talked a lot about how she adored playing Rose, but also how intentional she was not to make her a caricature. So she said, quote, should anyone ask me which character I have played is closest to the real me, I would have to say it's the one I'm doing now, Rose Nyland. That's because I'm a homebody. I tell long, boring stories and always want happy endings. And I'm a cockeyed optimist just like Rose, I'm afraid. That's what she told the Toronto Star in 1990.
Oh, that's lovely.
She's delightful, Betty White.
She really is. I did pull one other one. She said to Entertainment Weekly in 2010, she was terminally naive. I like Rose because she thought life was a musical comedy. It was going to have a happy ending no matter whatever happened.
Oh, we could all use a little of that.
Yeah, I don't like musicals, but I am the person who will jump up on the table and sing, probably. So I like life being a musical comedy. That's fun.
Sounds nice.
Doesn't it, though? Give me some time. I'm not going to jump up on this one, though, because I'm afraid I'll break it.
Oh, yeah. Chile.
So let's go ahead and get into our watch party notes then. Top 3 moments that stuck with each of us. Just to remind folks at home, this could be something where we feel genuine surprise emotionally or comically, or maybe it's a nod to Betty's acting. There's so much to unpack with Rose and Betty that I think we're already rolling along. It's hard not to share all these great moments, but what really rose to the top for you?
Rose to the top. So obviously High Anxiety, season 4, episode 20. That one I have remembered through the years, and also even after watching this batch of episodes, I was like, yeah, that one really sticks with you. I think the humor of the subplot, so it's Dorothy and Sophia filming the commercial, is good. That's a really good sub. It's so random, but it's a lot of necessary levity in this episode, but it was really funny. But also the drama of learning about Rose's medication addiction. like you said, you don't really expect that to come. And when it does, you're like, wait, what happened? She had a crash out over the cake that fell that I just mentioned. She had some threats to the director when he was in the house. They were so over the top, especially since they came right before, oh yeah, lovely to meet your director friend. As she's going back and forth on this emotional roller coaster that is trying to sort of wean off of medication like this. It's personal to me for reasons, but and I think that's what makes it so real and heartbreaking to me, is to see this performance and to see how, I don't know if Betty White dealt with a medication dependency. I didn't read that in her book anywhere. I haven't read that anywhere, but the fact that she played that so true, it just really impressed me, and it stuck with me for a while.
I also think, because it's one of my top moments as well too, just in general, the episode wasn't on my bingo card that it was going to be Rose. And to me, what that shows is how smart that decision was behind the scenes, because you really need it to be someone unexpected. It provides that teachable moment. Addiction can happen to anyone. It doesn't align with being a quote good or quote bad person. And I think it's just, the human mind wants to put things in a box, but it's not that simple. And this is the exact reason, like why I think even if you almost need that reminder, and it served as that. Mm-hmm. What else do you have?
The other one that I wanted to mention, sometimes these to me are almost like I would be remiss if I didn't mention. And so in this circumstance, her St. Olaf stories really do stick out across the series. The Great Herring War, that's when she told in an episode we watched earlier this season, The Way We Met. That is a St. Olaf story that if you just search Rose, Nyland, and St. Olaf stories, the fans love that one. It is a classic. It is almost a perfect example of something you mentioned a minute ago. It's not even about the story. It's about the reaction of the people she's telling the story to. So Dorothy and Blanche just totally are like, what the hell is happening? What is she talking about? And Betty White sits there and delivers them so straight-faced. It's incredibly impressive. She had several more of the episodes we did watch. We learned about herring Krispies. They're Rice Krispies made of herring, but the only way you can eat them is to hold your nose. That was in The Days and Nights of Sophia Petrillo. We talked about the cake that's sensitive to noise and movement. The Butter Queen pageant, which Rose almost won, but ultimately lost over an accusation of churn tampering. That was in Ladies of the Evening. So just all of these stories throughout the season. She has a wonderful delivery, and she is truly the only person I could imagine delivering them. Mm-hmm. And I think that speaks to some of the longevity of the character and why people love her character so much.
Yeah, I think that she, in this particular batch of episodes that we watched, I was just genuinely surprised, not only by the pill addiction, but all these other storylines that she was involved in. So before and after that near-death experience, if you had told me, or we had seen, like, she needed to make more wedding cakes, she needed to be there more, she needed to give more blood, I think that's what I would have anticipated more than her partying on the beach into the wee hours and moving out, and telling everybody they're a bunch of fuddy-duddies. Like, that I wasn't expecting. And so I think those were, like, I really enjoyed spending time with a Rose that I wasn't anticipating that I would spend time with. And then also, like, her finding out that her dad's a monk. That was unexpected.
Super random.
I didn't know that she was adopted.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm watching these.
I had forgotten it until we watched this episode again.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so you're not alone. I was like, oh, that's what this episode is. Yep.
Yeah, I liked in that one too. And what I thought worked, what I think makes this a top moment, is she did a nice job, like, for someone, and within the scope and time that they had, showing, like, you're not just going to meet your dad for the first time and everything's going to be, like, okay.
Right.
Kind of put me in the mind of, like, that episode where Anthony meets his dad back in our Designing Women days. Mm-hmm. But, like, there was also enough humor in Rose's situation to make it more palatable. I really love the scene where she's taking his dinner order in the hospital room and between him, like scolding him.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you want to have it? And then all of it punctuated by her offering pie that never really existed. And that was her version of revenge. I was like, that's a perfect
Suck it,
revenge.
loser.
Exactly.
It is perfect revenge. Who wants to be offered pie, get all excited about it, and then find out there's no pie?
100%.
There was no pie.
Any other top moments for you?
Nope, those were the big ones.
Okay, I had one more that I wanted to share, which was in season 5, episode 4. This is Rose Fights Back, when she talks about realizing the quote bag lady that she sees every day going through the garbage, and she has all her belongings piled in old shopping carts. Not only that woman is exactly their age, but she could be any one of them. Rose talks about how it's easy to assume that this person or any person in that position took some sort of wrong turn or did something they shouldn't have done. But the truth is, sometimes crappy things happen to good people. And she did a really nice job, again, like threading that needle between making people laugh and making people think.
I'm glad you brought that up. I think that speaks to what I mentioned earlier about her fear of loneliness. That just comes throughout the series. I think in maybe our first episode this season, we flagged the quote where she had said, like, this is unfair that we live this way. We raise kids, we raise families, we marry people, and then we're just left alone in the end. She's really afraid of that. That's a deep fear for her. And that helps remind us that, again, she's not one-dimensional. She's not just happy-go-lucky all the time. She knows life sucks sometimes.
Well, and I wonder too, we're learning, like, I don't want to, even I know, it's well known that Betty White's really big animal activist, and so I think someone who is just like a little bit more tapped into that side, again, going back to the like heart-centric character, like I think all of that, like those beautiful things about Betty White, I think it pulls through and just really comes out very beautifully as Rose. Mm-hmm. We also can jump into other observations then. And so did you have any favorite outrageous Rose quotes that stuck with you?
I had 2 I wanted to share. She tells a story about Inga Lundqvist in A Bed of Roses. This is the lady whose husband got caught in the hay baler. And she says, we had a neighbor in Minnesota who killed her husband. She backed over him with a combine, and she didn't even know she had done it until she found little bits of plaid in the corn. She said, funny, that looks like bits of Joe's plaid shirt. And that looks like bits of Joe's overalls. And that looks like bits of Joe's arms. That looks like Rose. We get the picture. They had a very little coffin. Blanche, I think at that point, just like screams out loud. It's like, stop this horrible story.
Oh my God. I'm like,
every second terrible. The story went further and further. It stuck with me.
That's the teeth and hair.
The other one I really liked was in Before and After. She was talking about like being in a huge afterlife train station or something. And it says Destination Heaven after everybody's name. And she says, my first thought was, gee, what a great name for a movie. My second thought was, damn, I'm dead.
So that one was also on my list. It's so good. It was just really funny. Also, you could see Rue McClanahan and help me out, Dorothy.
B. Arthur?
Yeah, you could see her breaking.
Oh, yeah.
Or both of them breaking, and they did a nice job covering it up. They just kind of like turned like they were aggravated, but you could tell they were going to crack up.
You could tell. It was killing them.
It was great. At the end of that episode, too, while we're on that one, when they make up, Rose comes back in the door and says, because they're like, what are we going to do? It's Saturday night. And she's like, we could do what we normally do, talk dirty and pig out. It's actually like,
good. Sounds good.
It was like the first draft name of the show. Like, it needs some work. That's why workshopping's important, Season 4, episode 20. Again, this is high anxiety. So Rose solving logistical problems. Blanche says, oh, now hold on. I don't want a TV crew coming in here messing up my kitchen, setting up all that video equipment. And Rose goes, how about shooting it in your bedroom, Blanche? The equipment's already set up. And it's not even judgment. It's
no
just like
judgment.
I saw it there.
Straight to solutions. That's the Rose we know.
My last 2 are both from season 6, episode 2. One's in St. Olaf on her origin story. Late one night, a basket was left at the local orphanage containing hickory smoked cheese, spicy beef sticks, a baby, and some kind of crackers that didn't go with anything. Eventually, the Lindstroms took the baby and the beef sticks because that was the deal. They named that baby Rose.
And that's how it all began.
I just love it. I'm like, thank God someone included the stuff about the crackers, you know? I mean, if you're going to pair a cracker with a smoky cheese and a beef stick, you need to pick the right flavor.
It needs to be the right cracker. It's true.
I like that attention to detail on parents in that one as well. This is Blanche. But right now you have an opportunity I would give anything for. Just to have 10 minutes more with Big Daddy. Oh, to hear that sweet old husky voice once more. They're admitting, who to my country club? Oh, there's the difference, Blanche. That bigot was there for you.
I love that line so much. That bigot was there for you.
So let's talk about peak Rose. Where was she at her most extra? What's on your list?
Gosh, I have a few. The whole he bought the farm bit in season 1, episode 15 in a bed of roses. So this is after they find Al, the diamond importer, dead in her bed. I can't remember if it's Dorothy or if it's Sophia, but someone says he bought the farm. And Rose says, what farm? Rose, he's dead. No, yes. Oh my God, that poor man, and with a new farm and everything. That's just like peak oblivious. She just can't put the pieces together. She just can't do it. And it was very similar to Once in St. Olaf. She has a back and forth with this newly found father where she just can't quite put the pieces together. So like he says, it's up to the man who brought us together today. And she says, the intern in the paper shoes? No, Rose, the Lord Almighty. And then later, my mother, did you love her? Yes, very much. But then the abbot found out. Bud Abbott? I had to look that one up. He's of Abbott and Costello fame. And he said, sure'd be nice if you got one of those right. No, Rose, the abbot at the monastery or whatever. And then that all culminates with Dorothy asking, Rose, have you seen my mother? Because the subplot is Sophia has gone missing in this hospital. And she says, no, maybe she's lost. It's just like, come on now. Hey, but you need that. You need that humor. Two more that I wanted to flag. She learned that women shave above their knee in season 5, episode 4.
It's also on my list.
She
Peak innocence.
Couldn't believe it. Get out of here, she says. She couldn't believe that. And all the other kids called her Rose with the hairy legs.
Kids can be so cruel.
It's so cruel.
Sorry, I have to go really low to get into my B. Arthur voice.
It's still not low enough. It's just she has such a unique voice. If you could keep stretching those vocal cords.
Start smoking again.
Yes, please.
It's for the bit.
It's for the bit. You know I commit to a bit. The last one I'll mention is on that note, which is her sock puppet impression of Dorothy in season 6, episode 2. Woe is me. And then Dorothy catches her. It was just good humor.
Or just even like everything that's in the, what did she call it? The St. Olaf survival kit or whatever, or happy kit or whatever it was. It was just funny. Like, it was pretty good. I was like, oh, I thought maybe I'd get something good, but I'm probably not going to do a sock puppet. But maybe, who knows?
You never know.
So on Peak Rose, I had season 4, episode 20, again, high anxiety. This is when they're playing the St. Olaf version of Monopoly, Guggenspritzer. For me, this has given me a little bit of insight into that competitive streak. So I really like that.
That's true.
Because she's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
You know, she's like pretending to help a little bit, but, you know, because I don't think she can help it either. Yeah. Because she's a helper. Right. But then she wins after one move because she bought the only street in St. Olaf. I also had Rose Fights Back in mind. It was the knee thing, but also peak Midwestern here when she talks about her and Charlie being so careful with money, you know, except for that one time when they went to Chicago to tour the stockyards.
Indulgence.
And then Dorothy was like, oh, you must have been the envy of every woman in St. Olaf. And she was like, oh, it's more than that. We even got to see where Crisco's made. My final one is the one where I said I went off book because it's in Sophia's.
Okay.
episodes, but this is what happens. And when they're talking about the going to jail, Rose goes, "Downtown? He means jail?" And Dorothy goes, "Oh, really, Rose? I thought he meant Neiman Marcus." And Rose says, "I've never been to jail. I won't make it. They always prey on the weak and innocent. The others will taunt me for trying to excel at work in the laundry. I'll fall in with a bad crowd whose leader looks like Ethel Merman, and I'll be forced to engineer a daring prison break using my laundry cart. From that time on, I won't have a moment's peace. I'll scar my fingerprints with battery acid, and I'll run from town to town taking jobs that people have who got bad grades in school. And then one day they'll find me holed up in a little shack in the Louisiana bayou, and a sheriff named Bull will call my name out over a megaphone, and when I make a run for it, he'll riddle my body with bullets. Oh, please don't let them take me downtown. I want to live. I want to live." And Dorothy goes, "You're not very good in a crisis, are you, Rose?" Actually, when I was listening to all that and then having to put all that down in my document, all I could think was, Nikki has literally watched me do that just over different topics. We haven't almost gone to jail for suspected sex work, but there's still time, you know?
Catastrophizing. It happens to the best of us at different times.
It happens. She's very creative.
My approach to jail is very similar to that. I do just immediately see how it's all just going to go sideways for me. My life will be ruined.
Well, and it's like all these really like sunshiny stereotypical versions of jail. Like, you know, I'm like, this seems okay compared to like what jail would really be like. But yeah.
They'll make fun of her, Salina.
Pete Gross.
It's true. It's true.
Did you have any like, oops, that didn't age well?
No, actually not for her.
I didn't either. There was one like there's a couple of times. What is that line? I've got it somewhere in here just because I wrote it down because it is really funny, but it goes back to that. Oh, okay. This was in Dorothy's batch of episodes. Season 3, episode 15, Blanche asks Rose what her first impression of her was, and Rose says, "I thought you wore too much makeup and you were a slut." I was wrong. You don't wear too much makeup. Yeah. You know, and again, I think it's that like the throwing around the slut is not very of today.
Right.
I mean, let me be clear. For some people it is. Not here at Sweet Tea and TV.
No. But you know what? Blanche embraced that term. It was a term of endearment for her, I think. So maybe like reclaiming the term.
Well, I love that.
I had the bigot quote, not as an example of something that didn't age well, just because it made me laugh. Actually, it ages quite well because she flat out called out his behavior in one comment, just like, "But that bigot cared for you or was there for you," or whatever. But I had that one there because it just made me laugh.
It's so funny. What about cheesecake moments? Was there or a special moment of friendship that we want to highlight?
I have 2 special moments of friendship.
Okay. You can have 2.
Thank you. Season 2, episode 15, before and after, Sophia said, "If anything happened to Rose, it would be like losing one of my own children."
That was really nice.
Wasn't that nice? It was one of our early glimpses of Sophia and how much she cared for these women, way more than she says that she does.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Mine was in the same one, but again, it's when she comes back. And they're in the kitchen and she sort of like comes in and they don't know that she's walking through the door. And it is when we get the pig out and talk dirty line. But what I actually loved was how they immediately fell back to their routine. They didn't need to discuss it. They didn't need to hash it out. We didn't need to do any of that. We just sat down. We knew treats were going to be on the table. And here's what you missed while you were gone. I loved it. It was also
friendship, you know?
It was also a mirror to the beginning of the episode because someone was like, I'll get the bowls, I'll get the spoons. Everyone knows what's around the corner. It's ice cream.
Oh, I thought we were going to beat each other with the spoons.
It's sugar.
Cover their heads. But yeah, ice cream.
And cover their heads. Just like knock it
but ice cream
on the side of the bowl.
That too.
Yeah, sure.
Season 4, episode 20, high anxiety. Just everything the girls did to push her through her dependency was really sweet. They all came together.
Staying up all night for anyone and not having any substances is hard.
Tall order. That's tough. That's tough. It's peak cheesecake moment. You know what I mean?
That's right. I would just be sitting there trying to eat all the cheesecake to stay awake. Sometimes, I don't know, like, sometimes if I'm really tired and I've fallen, I don't do it as much anymore. But if I like fall asleep on the couch and then I need to get up the stairs, I would like almost sleepwalk over to the fridge and like eat something to get up the stairs.
Oh, because you need the energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I can do it now.
And see, at that point, I've probably already brushed my teeth. And once I've brushed my teeth, it's lights out.
Oh,
I can't eat anything else because I'm not doing it again.
Probably why it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
I'm less nasty than I used to be. Congratulations to me. You know what I'm saying?
You weathered the storm.
Yeah, I
came
used
through
to
on
be.
the other
If
side.
I was really tired, I'd be like, I'll get them in the morning. That doesn't happen anymore.
Good.
So good.
Your dentist is very glad to hear that. Great.
I wish I could have.
You had too many scares.
I wish I could have seen the look on Nikki's face, but you can't. So that's just for me.
I have a couple of things I just have to observe before we leave, Rose.
Please.
They're just things that randomly occurred to me as I was watching the episodes, or I looked them up later because I was like, something felt weird there. Season 1, episode 15, In a Bed of Roses. Blanche knew the term lesbian here. Do you remember in season 2, episode 5, Isn't It Romantic, when they're getting ready for the square dance and Rose is theorizing how women can survive without men and tells the story of Inga Lundqvist who lived happily without a man? Blanche says, who is she? Some Swedish lesbian? Isn't It Romantic? She didn't know that word.
That's right.
And that would have been a season later.
That's right. She thought it was Lebanese.
Right.
Right.
That one bugged me. Then in High Anxiety, Rose's excuse for needing the medication tonight is that it was the anniversary of the death of her beloved cat. Dorothy tells her she's never had a cat and that she's allergic. But there was the episode where the women came together, and now I'm going to blank on the name. I just mentioned it a little while ago. The Way We Met. The whole thing was Rose was trying to find a place where she could live with her cat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Make it make sense, guys. We used
Do
to have
you even care?
We used to have way more room for things like this in the way we covered the Designing Women episode. So I just really needed to pull those together.
Absolutely.
And something else I read when I was looking through, I don't remember, something, IMDb or something, but somebody mentioned character inconsistencies and how things kind of, things we used to talk about in Designing Women, like a backstory changes slightly. This happens in King of Queens a lot too. They'll just conveniently forget they had a dog. Someone said it's because they came up with new ideas as they were writing the show. Is it crazy that it never occurred to me that maybe they just didn't have that good idea 3 seasons ago, and then they're like, this would be really funny, let's add it in? I just thought they weren't paying attention. I thought it was just like a forget thing versus man, we should have made that their backstory instead.
Oh, I think that's a really rosy way of looking at it. I think sometimes
Would you say
they're
that's
forgetting.
a rosy way?
Yeah, I think sometimes they're forgetting.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have people doing what we were doing, and they didn't have streaming. It was just going to be out. It didn't matter as much, you know.
That's true.
So yes, and
Yeah.
also, like, it sort of depends. Not every showrunner is okay with like making on the fly changes. Like, notoriously, Aaron Sorkin, like, you don't change you change nothing,
right?
You know.
Yeah.
But obviously, not obviously, but I would imagine that in sitcoms you have a lot more flexibility, and then there are some comedies that, you know, they're some of the best sitcoms of all time, and they were known for like being able to really collaborate and make changes,
Like King of Queens. I just mentioned that.
Like King of Queens. Yeah.
Anyhow, those are throwbacks to the way we used to cover TV shows. You ready to move on?
I guess.
To our favorite cantankerous old lady?
I am.
Are you sure?
I'm so excited.
It's Sophia.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Sophia. It's going to be a good one.
What if it was me? You're like, cantankerous old lady Salina.
It's Salina.
I do need to tell you that I was telling my friend too about Sophia, something, it doesn't matter, it'll come up later, but she was like, well, yeah, you're Sophia. And I was like, okay,
Thanks.
I was like, thank you. And I said, just because we're short.
Maybe. And you carry big purses. I don't know.
I know. I'm like, I don't.
I don't know. So in the meantime, everybody can follow along with us and engage. We're on Instagram and Facebook at Sweet Tea and TV, TikTok at Sweet Tea TV Pod. We're on YouTube at Sweet Tea TV 7371. You can be cool like listener Zach and shoot me an email. Zach, I read it. I'm going to respond one of these old days. Thank you for sending it. Our email address is sweetteatvpod@gmail.com, and our website is www.sweetteatv.com. You can support the show through several ways. You can tell your family and friends about us. You can rate and review the podcast wherever you listen, or you can visit the Support Us page on our website to find additional ways to support us. And then come back Thursday for an extra sugar, all about perhaps the last thing Americans can agree on, the loveliness that is Betty White.
That's all I got.
We still haven't landed on how to end these things.
It's hard.
Thanks, Salina.
Yep. We'll get it done by the very last episode. Yes. And thank you for being a friend. I was going to let you finish it.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's start again. And thank you
for being a friend. Is that good? Did I do it good? Did I sound like Dorothy on the commercial? Okay, last time.
Okay. And thank you.
Well, now you got weird.
Okay,
you went like 40s radio person.
Everybody knows I know. But that was what was in my head. So I did a good job.
Yeah. Good for you.
And thank you, Nikki.
For being a friend, Salina. Bye.